Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I guess I'll just hang out for a couple of minutes, wait for a few people to show up. Today we're going to talk about quilling tools and basic shapes. Hi, Miss Allie Kay. How are you, my dear? Welcome, welcome. I'm just waiting for a few more people to show up. I don't want anybody to miss anything. How are you doing tonight, Miss Allie Kay? Hi, Stacy. So far, it's just you and Allie. So I'm going to give it a little bit. See if there are any others that want to join us. I don't want them to miss anything. Hello, Angela. Yay, I'm glad you're here. I would love to see what all you have inherited, Allie. Maybe Stacy can post my Facebook group and you can join my Facebook group and post some of the stuff that your grandma left you. I'm interested to see what it looked like way back when and the tools now. That would be so interesting. Okay, go join, and after the live, I'll be able to accept you, and then you can post what you have. You can't post until I accept you, and I can't do that from here. But I'm definitely interested in to see what you all have. Thank you, Stacy, for posting everybody's channels. That's great. Yay, Pam! Woohoo! Welcome, welcome. Wow, we're getting quite a crowd. Yay! wonder what happened to my little baby ruler. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. With the blue handle? Okay. Okay. This one with the blue handle is ergonomic. This spins. This disc spins. So when you hold the tool in your hand, you need these two fingers to hold your tool, and then these three fingers, these two hold it, and then these three turn it. And then, oh, other blue one, the other blue one, this one, the blue swirly one. These blue swirly ones I got because they were pretty. I already had these tools, but I got them because they were pretty and I liked them. These ones here, these are purple. Yeah, these are purple. They do show up kind of a dark blue on screen, but they are purple. Yeah, they are purple. The purple ones. Okay, that's great. She got some good tools. Yeah, she got some good tools. That's great. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and, blah, blah, easy for me to say. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Quilling for beginners. I'm Kellyanne, for those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do, thank you for coming. Those of you who don't, thank you for coming. I want to explain, since I noticed there's quite an interest in quilling, I want to explain the tools and some of the accessory tools that you could use, and start demonstrating some of the shapes that you can create with just a very, let me get it out here, just a very thin, with just a very thin piece of paper. Just one of these would make a beautiful flower petal, but yeah, with just a thin piece of paper and all the different shapes you can create. So, well, let's get started with the very basic quilling tool. They have this metal one, and they have, see, this handle on this tool is plastic. They have others that are like this. They have this tool with this plastic handle. Very, very basic quilling tool. You do not need to spend a lot of money on your quilling tools. This one was just a couple of dollars. They come with, I don't know if you can see it, a slot. There it is. They come with a slot to hold the paper, and then when you hold it in your hand, you wind the paper, and this is what creates your tight coil, your loose coil, and then from there you go to different shapes. This is Very narrow, very thin, very, very difficult to hold on to. So I upgraded and went to a longer one. This is probably about $4 or $5. It's a metal one. It's the same thing. Has a very tiny slit at the end of it to place the paper in it. These are all quilling tools. There it is. There's the slit. Again, easy enough to hold on to. It's a little bit longer, it's a little bit thicker, and I can hold these two fingers, pinky and ring finger, to hold the tool, and then twirl with these three. Okay, so there's that. Then I went out and bought these pretty purple sets. At the time when they didn't have all 5 of them, they only had 4 of them. This is a newer set, but it comes again with your simple slotted tool. This is just a slotted tool. That's what it's called, a simple slotted tool. This one, you can see the metal at the tip is longer, and if I hold it on its side carefully, you can see that the slit starts here and goes all the way up. And this one, it's just a short one. It starts here and goes to there. Just a simple slotted one. That's okay. These are both simple tools. This one is made for your wider paper. I will show you the papers a little bit in just a little bit, but they come from very narrow to 1/16th, and they go all the way up to 5 millimeter, 9 millimeter, and then papers that you just cut on your own. And this one holds the wider paper, and this one holds the thinner paper. Then you have this tool. This is called a needle tool. It looks like an awl, but it's not. It is pointed, but it's a blunt point. And this is called a needle tool. Hi, Marty. How are you? This tool I have yet to master. There is no slot to hold your paper in place. You have to get your paper wound around it tight, and then you have to hold it in place, and you slide it up and you slide it down. You slide it up and you slide it down. And it's just not something I have ever mastered. This tool is closest to what the nuns who started this used to use. It's called paper quilling because they used a quill, an actual feather, and the spine of the feather was what they would wrap these little pieces of paper around and create these fabulous, fabulous scrolled, quilled, coiled, shaped doilies and placemats and centerpieces. It's absolutely beautiful. Hi, Teresa. Nice to see you. I'm glad you could make it. So, let's review just a little bit. We'll go back. We have the simple slotted tools, one for the wide paper, one for the narrow paper, and you have a needle tool, which any size paper can go on there. And again, this is a tool that I have yet to master. I just okay. So those are all your simple tools. Then you have this one with a really wide slot. This is when you want to curl and swirl and twirl and make different scroll shapes. With lots of paper at one time, you can fit probably up to 5, maybe even 6 pieces of paper. Oh, okay, Teresa. You can watch in the balcony. That's all right. In here and twirl it and come out with these beautiful scrolls. This tool here, you can see how long it is, and it has a it's not as short as the short simple slotted tool, but it's not as long as the long simple slotted tool for the slot at the top. And it has this long neck. And this is used for making cones. And I will show you how to do that, but this is your cone tool. Those are your simple slotted tools, your needle tool, your swirl tool, your cone tool. This tool is my favorite tool to work with, but I can't do all of the other things with it. This is just for your very basic simple shapes, and this is the one you'll probably see me work with the most. This is an ergonomic quilling tool. When you hold your tool, you want to hold it with your ring finger and your pinky and your palm, and up here in your palm, just like this. And then you're going to hold your paper and your end in your hand for counterbalance, and you're going to twirl with the other 3. Some people twirl towards them this way. I am one that twirls away from me this way. You can twirl either way. Ah, the balcony. So you can twirl it either way. These are simple tools. That's a simple tool. This is also a simple tool, but it's super fine. You're going to find, well, can we get there? Yeah, you can barely see the slot. That's how fine it is. It's super, super fine. And that is due to the request of many quillers who don't like that little hole in the center of their work. It shows a bent, crimped piece, and this is a fine tool, and it shows less of that. And you'll see what I mean when I start working with these tools and showing you what they do. This is just your awl, just a simple awl. It's your pokey tool, it's your glue tool, it's your, oh crap, that's too much glue on the paper tool, and you got to take some of the glue off. And this is, oh, I need a little dot of glue right there, and so you pick up a little dot of glue and you put a little dot of glue on. This is kind of snooty quillers. This is kind of an accessory tool. It's your pokey tool. It helps you put your little pieces together in a circle. It helps you poke things down. It helps you hold things in place. This is an accessory tool that is very helpful, very, very, very helpful to your projects. Pins. Pins, I love pins. Now you're going to find that some quillers find that using pins is a faux pas. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of the, all right, for lack of better words, snooty ones. I use pins. Pins help a great deal. Pins hold things in place, hold things together. Pins are your best friend. You need pins. Pins are a great help. Then we have tweezers. I have a very pointy set, a not so pointy set, and an angled set. The angled set, I honestly don't use very much. Every now and then I go, oh, wait, I have angled tweezers. That's right. I can use that. But for the most part, I just use either the pointy ones or they have a longer point to them. Ganache, yes, I'm live, but I'm teaching, honey. You can't come up here. I'm so sorry, sweet girl. That is Ganache, if you can hear her meowing. And these tweezers have a longer, narrower area to grab, whether it's the thin 1/8 inch paper or the wider 4 or 5 millimeter paper. It has more of an area to be able to grab with. This is for my smaller pieces, has a little short area, grabs the smaller pieces, smaller page. Oh, Marty says hello. Marty says hello, Ganache. Okay, so these are the tweezers. This is your curling coach. Your curling coach when you're first starting out to, let's see, I started out in 2006 and I have, actually I started out in 2005. I'm sorry, I started in 2005 and I'm now in 2023 and I'm still using it. It is a very helpful tool when you want to make big coils, big discs, to help you keep your discs flat so that they don't get out of shape. There's a little hole in the center that you put your quilling tool through. You add your piece of paper through the slot. Again, you just let that dangle. You just let it go. You can hold it on the table. You can hold it in the air. Do whatever you want. And you just let it go and you twirl and you twirl and you twirl and you twirl. And the paper stays flat against the curling coach and it doesn't coil on you. It doesn't make a spring on you. Oh, I forgot to finish talking about this one. And that's your curling coach. Let's go back to my my ergodynamic one here. When you are quilling, sometimes it gets very tense. Your fingers can get very cramped and very tense holding a tool. This has a disc that moves. So this, I don't have to worry about how loose or tight comparatively to a regular quilling tool. I'm holding this tool because it just turns. It just turns freely on the disc. The other one has to turn in your hand and you have to make sure you're holding it not too tight, not too loose. And you got to hold it in place. This one helps make a smaller size, and they have those without it being ergodynamic. I have one here. Without it being an ergodynamic, it's just a regular quilling tool with the fine point, fine tip. And then I bought this one. This one was $36 because it's handcrafted. It's not machine made at all. This is a handcrafted, hand carved, hand tooled, hand machine tooled, not machine tooled. And like I said, this is my favorite tool, and this is the one I use the most. Ouchie, yes, you need to be very careful. I want to back up to the curling coach again just a minute. If you see these circles, you can use these circles as a guide as to how wide your disc is going to be. However, for the most part, you can ignore these because when you're making larger discs, larger coils, larger discs, you already know that you're going to put 8 pieces of paper together or 10 pieces of paper together and quill and quill and quill, and it's going to be its own size. And trust me, when you're doing this, making a paper wreath or whatever, you just kind of ignore those little circles after a while, and you just know that, okay, I need 10 pieces of paper. And you twirl and twirl and twirl 10 pieces of paper and you get a disc. These little circles here, if you can see them, are for making your loose, not your tight coils, but your loose coils the same size. You wind up your paper, it's already in a tight coil, you let it go. You put it, actually you don't let it go. It's already in a tight coil, you put it in one of those little holes and you let it unravel, or ravel I should say. You let it unwind just to the size of the hole. Then you take the tweezers, take them out, glue the end together, ta-da! So it's a pretty good sizer. Now on here you notice there's only 3 sizes, which brings me to the next tool. And before I get to the next tool, does anybody have any questions on the quilling tools that I've gone through so far? Because if I'm going too fast, I can stop, I can back up. Okay, no questions. All right. So you can use the circles that's on your curling coach, or you can get yourself a circle template. And on your circle template, you'll notice on some of them, they only have the graduated circles from 5 millimeters, 8 millimeters, 10 millimeters, 12 millimeters, 15 millimeters, 20 millimeters, 25, and 30. And those are pretty much what you get. On this particular board, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all the same size. They're all 10 millimeter circles. That's great if you're twilling and you want to put one in there and let it go, and you curl another while you're waiting for this one to coil, and you put another one in, and you put another one in, and you put another one in, and you put another one in. Now, so long as you're using them right away, I recommend doing that. That way your coils will all be the same size. If you're going to make these up in advance, I do not recommend you do that, because even though you glue the end shut, the inside still coils. Coils, 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 and pretty soon you get a big empty circle in the middle and no spring looking thing. Now, this one has many, let me lift up the camera just a little bit so I can get it all in here. This one has many different shapes on it. You're going to find that the only thing you're going to want to use on here are your circles and your ovals. Your squares, you can't put a circle into a square spot and get a square. It doesn't work. Your teardrops, your circle will open, but your point won't fill in. It's when you take it out, glue it together, and then pinch that you actually get a teardrop. So your teardrops are kind of useless. Your hearts, well, when you're making heart scrolls, they come into play, but you can't put a circle of paper in here and expect it to turn into a heart. It doesn't happen. Same with the triangles. None of these work. In order to get these shapes, you have to start with a circle coil and then do some pinching, and then you'll get these shapes. So a lot of these shapes are nonsense. The only thing this board is good for is the back. And this one actually has a circle template on it. You don't necessarily need that, but this is your cork board that you can pin. You put a piece of wax paper over it. You put your design under the wax paper. You quill on top of the wax paper so that it doesn't stick to the paper. and then you can mount it onto a backing of your choice. These, they're not the greatest. Like I said, if you want all your circles to be diplomatically, politically exactly the same, use those. Once you get quilling for a while, you put this tool in the back of your stash and never use it again. I will show you, Angela, how the circles become different shapes by pinching. You use your fingers, your forefinger and your thumb, and pinch, and that's how they become shapes. And I'll show you all that once I show you all the tools, and then I'll show you how to use the tools and create the shapes. So this is, yes, Marty, basically, yes, this is, you're going to find that most quillers of many, many years do not use this. They use the cork board on the back, and that's it. When I'm doing relatively small things, I use one of these. When I'm doing my mandalas and snowflakes and whatnot, I use this 12 by 12 piece of cork board. I got 4 in a pack from Amazon, and my friend and I, my friend who also does quilling, split the pack. I have 2 and she has 2. And it was relatively inexpensive. If you go to Beth Schuler's Facebook page, I left a list of items of all the tools that you need and where you can purchase them if you want them. I could not find these 12 by 12 cork boards anymore, but I did find 6 by 6. And they come 2 to a pack, so you can get the 6 by 6 ones. I do quill mandalas. And mandalas, quilling mandalas is wonderful. I got a coloring book that was an adult coloring book that was all mandalas. And I went through and I was like, I'm never going to color this. I'm never going to color this. I'm never going to color this. I took out all the pages that I was never going to color and threw them away. That's because that's just how my mind was working at the time. Now, now that I quill mandalas, I'm like, oh, all of those pages I threw away. I could have quilled them instead of colored them, and it would have been so much better. Yep, just a coloring book of mandalas, and then you put that underneath your wax paper, and you quill on top of the wax paper, and you use whatever color scheme you want. It's great. It is. It's actually from even before then, Stacy. It actually is from even before the Victorian times. Quilling was done by nuns even before that. Idle hands do the devil's work, so they created something that would keep them busy when they were not doing their vespers or whatever other rituals they do. That's funny. And then this tool, I'll show it to you this way, has domes and peaks on it, and that is for making, if you're making a bowl or a pot, or some sort of receptacle that's hollow, I use the back side. If I'm making a flower that could be shaped a little bit, I make the flower and then dip it into the flat side, and it will take the shape of the dome. Same principle. Oh, quilling can be la-di-da, but I'll tell you what, I am not a la-di-da person, and I quill, and let me show you Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I put it someplace. There it is. I made this kitty out of quilling. I got the outline from a coloring book, and then I just filled in all the little filigree designs all myself with all the different shapes. See, this is one of the large swirls and swoops. It's got 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of paper to create this one great big swirly swoop. This is called beehive. That's another technique you can make with a simple tool. These circles, these open circles, are made on a different tool. This is all made on a simple tool. These little curves right here are made on a quilling board. So let me show you the rest of the tools now. We have things known as a quilling board. It comes with pegs. Oh no, it's so much fun. It's so easy and it's so pretty. You have to be accurate but not meticulous. Accurate with your measurements, but you don't need to be, fiddly meticulous. You can just get things done. You put the pegs along in the holes and you can create loops. I'll show you that. That might be part 2. This is number 1. This particular video is number 1, but you can create loops that you can't make on the quilling tool. And then I have, don't go out and buy one of these. It's useless to go out and buy one of these, or it's not necessary to buy one of these. It's very expensive to buy one of these when you can just use your onion peeler, your onion slicer rather. This is a quilling comb, and you can use this, or you can use a regular hair comb that has tines on it that are even closer together. What I actually want is for what I want to do next is actually get a flea comb that I can buy at the pet store for cheaper than I can buy a metal quilling comb. And that makes a whole other shape. Again, these 2 units will be probably in quilling number 2, but they use still the same thin sheets of paper, just in a different way. Oh. Okay, see, here's my quilling comb that I use. It has the numbers on it. That is a great help. Those numbers are wonderful. It's a great help. Or I can use a comb where you can see the wide end. I marked off where the center is. Again, this is something in quilling number 2. These are your quilling buddies. What they do is they make outlines. This is a teardrop outline. I went through and I numbered each tier because none of the tiers were numbered, so I could never remember, was I on this tier or this tier or this tier? So I went through and I numbered the tiers, but these are your quilling buddies. They come, there's a purple set that has like 4 shapes, and then there's this green set that I got. It says Quill On. I honestly don't remember. I believe it was Amazon. This has an oval, it has a round, it has a teardrop, it has a square, it has a hexagon. And the other thing these things come with is a handle, which I don't know why it comes with a handle. I never use it. There's the handle. And then you wrap the paper around and you have a hollow teardrop or a hollow circle. These are, again, other accessories that when you start getting more advanced, or a hair pick. Yes. Oh my gosh, Stacy, yes, you can use a hair pick. The other thing you're going to want is a short 6-inch ruler and then maybe a longer 12-inch ruler, or if you have one of those self-healing mats, like a quilting mat that can go up to 18 or 27 inches, you can get one of those, but you definitely need a shorter ruler too, and it's great because it's easier to tear your ends off, and it's easier to glue a torn edge than it is to glue a machine cut straight edge. What else do I have in here? I have this little machine here. I feed the paper in through the back. And work the machine up and down, and it creates fringe. Again, that's going to be a quilling number 2. This one is at a 90-degree angle, and this is at a 45-degree angle. Okay, scissors. Some people like to cut their paper. Like I said, it's better for me anyway, and I find it helps to make smoother glue seams when you're using paper to tear it, but some people like to cut. And then there's also this tiny little glue bottle with a needle tip. All you need for your glue is, well, come on out. All you need for your glue, this one's plugged up a little bit. That'll happen every time. Make sure you have one of your pins ready. Oh, I just was being impatient. It's not blocked at all. Okay, all you need, the amount of glue you need to glue your little ends together is that right there. The head of a pin. That's it. And that will hold your coils together. When you're gluing your components together, you'll need more, but all you need is that tiny little dot to glue your coils. Okay, where are we? All right. Those are all the tools that I have. Most of them I use, some of them I do not. Like the needle tool, I do not use. And this tool I will keep out. That's my regular tool. All right. What I'd like to do now is show you maybe 4 or 5 easy shapes to start with. And I know Marty doesn't like purple, so I'm going to use this blue. I hope you can see it. It looks like it shows up real well. Now, see how crinkly, coily, wrinkled this paper is? That's okay. Once you break the paper, that all goes away. And you have a nice, easy piece of paper to work with. I am serious about this quilling stuff. I love it. It was something that I picked up when my mummy got sick and was in the hospital, and I had to be in the hospital with her. And while she was sitting there sleeping, I needed to be doing something because I was going nuts. And so I picked up something that was small. I could put all my tools in this little box right here, and paper would, the paper strips, I would pick out. Well, at the time, it was for Christmas presents, so I had red, green, white, gold, and silver. Those were the colors that I had. And it was just very easy to take along. Well, Marty, I know you don't like purple. It has issues, and I try to be respectful. All right, now, when you get your papers, they come stuck together with a gum, like you do on a pad of paper, regular pad of paper. They come stuck together like that, and you just take one off. And this part can be a little fiddly, and if you don't mind the different shading that it gives, then don't worry about it. Because I can get pretty technical on some of these things, mind the shading. So you can look at a piece of paper and you can see that one side, the edges kind of curl under. You look at the other side and they kind of curl up. And if you can't see it, you can feel it. You can feel it. This is the smooth side. This is the concave side. You want to curl your paper. If you're going to be fussy, you want to curl your paper so that that rough side is on the inside. And believe it or not, because of the way the machine slices the paper, it actually does make a difference. Okay, so I've got this great big long piece of paper here. I don't buy from this company anymore. So I don't have these 27-inch long pieces of paper. Let's see, this is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I don't buy these 24-inch long pieces of paper. I buy the 17-inch because I always cut them down anyway. But for teaching purposes, I want a big piece of paper, a long piece of paper, so that the shapes come out big so that you can see them. All right, I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to put it in the slit. I can't do it through the camera. I've got to look at it for real. Okay, there we go. Going to hold the tool in my hand. I'm going to hold it in place with these two fingers. I'm going to twirl with these three fingers. And I'm going to hold my paper in place loose enough that the paper will twirl between my fingers and create a closed coil. And you can see that it's not very straight. That's okay. There's a trick I'm going to show you. You take it off your tool, press. Helps flatten it out. Just press. Helps flatten it out. That's a tight coil. Right there, that's a tight coil. You want to glue it shut. That's a tight coil. And see, there's a very tiny, tiny hole. Whoops, let me focus. See, there's a very tiny, tiny hole in the center. Whereas with your other irregular quilling tool, it would be just a little bit bigger. This is 1/8 inch size paper. I have, okay, so there's the dot, the size of the head of a pin. I'm gluing it shut. First time it'll pop up, second time it stays in place, third time you smooth it out. Now you can see I didn't tear the end of that, and when I hold it sideways, you can see the edge. If I had torn that, it would have gone in nice and smooth. But now I'm going to put it flat down on the surface, and see my little curling coach here? I'm going to press that on top of it and make it even flatter. And now it's perfectly flat. And that is a tight coil. Yes, it's 1/8 inch wide, and it was 24 inches long. What kind of glue? That is an awesome, awesome question. You will find some people that tell you that glue does not matter, and it does. It truly does. You want glue that has a lower water content, and it needs to be sticky. That will help it dry fast. So you want to use either Aleene's original tacky glue. You can use it in clear or white because both of them dry clear. It doesn't matter. You want your glue to dry clear. You want it to be sticky. You can use Elmer's Glue All, not school glue. Elmer's Glue All. That works. And you can also, it's expensive, but you can use Mod Podge. I don't like using Mod Podge because whether it dries matte or gloss, depending on which one you buy, it always still has a shine to it, and if you get it on your paper, it shows. So, on your backer, rather, is what I meant to say. So there is, let me bring you down again so that you can see. So there's a tight coil. Now I'm going to roll a loose coil. And it starts out, I'm going to tear my ends, whoops, tear my ends. I'm going to break the paper. I made a circle, yes. Ballpoint glue pens off of Amazon. Does it work with the quilling? Does it dry quick? I've never seen it. Okay, now I'll make a loose coil. I've got this upside down. I want it to be this way. Okay. I've got a tool in hand. I'm holding on to the paper. I'm ruling all 24 inches so that people can see. All right, you take it off the tool, pinch it, and ever so slightly loosen your grip, and you'll see it start to open. Start to open, start to open more. Might spring on you, that's all right. Flatten it back down. There. Can let it go and let it open all the way. Add your glue to the end. Oops. This is a loose coil, and normally it doesn't spring out like that, but I didn't pinch it tight enough. Whoops, my end came unglued. All right. Hang on a second here. That is a loose coil. When you let it go, and it creates a spiral on the inside. Yes, you can use the awl, or better yet, Stacy, the side of your ruler. I don't have nails when I do paper quilling because they get in my way. Beth the other day said she was glad she had nails. It was helping her a great deal. It's going to be to each his own, but when you break the paper, you can use the side of your ruler, gently though, just gently. The first time will curl, then on the other side it'll straighten. You have to do it to both sides of the paper. Do it to one side, then do it to the other. It breaks the paper and allows it to not crimp when you're winding. Crimping, if you want it to crimp when it's winding, there's a crimping tool you can use. It loosens the fiber, yes. No, not to cut the paper, although let's say I only wanted a 6-inch piece of paper. I could put it on my ruler and then cut it that way, and now I have a 6-inch piece of paper. So you can cut your paper with your ruler, which is what I do. Oh, wonderful, Pam. Yes, that's great. That's where you can get a ballpoint glue pen. Okay, now I am going to make one of those shapes. Remember these shapes that were on here? I'm going to make a teardrop. So I'm going to twirl the paper away from me. Take it off the tool, pinch it, let it open up. Let it open up, let it open up. A dot of glue. Okay, so it has made a loose coil. I'm going to make a teardrop. So what I want to do, whoops, what I want to do is pull the center of the coil. Come on, focus. I want to pull the center of the coil to one side and pinch the other side. And now I've made a teardrop, or a leaf, or a petal of a flower. Now if you want to make a paisley, you take your teardrop and squinch the end, and now you have a paisley. I'm going to show you one more shape. And it's called a marquise. And yes, it is marquise, not marquis. A marquis is like a nobleman. A marquise is a diamond shape. So, let's see now. I have the paper. Oh yes, I have it the right way. Okay. I'm actually going to use half the paper because I'm close enough and large enough. I'm going to feed the paper into the quilling machine, quilling tool. I'm twirling and twirling and twirling, which creates a tight coil. Pull it off the machine, pinch. Let it open, which creates a loose coil. Glue. Marquise actually has an E at the end of it. M-A-R-Q-U-I-S-E. It's a marquise. And that, you want to leave the center of your coil in the center. See, this is the loose coil. You want to leave the center of it equal on both sides. And you want to pinch either side. Some people say, oh, it's an I, and other people say it's a marquise, and it can be whatever you want it to be. And that is how you make a marquise. So there's only 4 pieces of paper there, but I showed you 5 shapes. So I showed you the tight coil. I showed you the loose coil. I showed you the teardrop, and then turn the teardrop into a paisley. Here's your marquise, and I'm going to take the marquise and turn it into an S. a backwards S, just for a little bit of, or not a backwards S, sorry. I'm going to turn it into an S. I just pinch both sides and bend, bend, just like that. And now it has another shape to it for quilling and filling in. And it can also be a leaf. Yes, you are absolutely right. The marquise can be a leaf. The shaped marquise can be a leaf. Your tight coil can be like the petal of a forget-me-not. Your loose coil can be the petal of a flower. If you take your loose coil and pinch both sides and slightly in the center, you can make yourself a daisy petal or a sunflower petal. Hi, Sharon. See, I've taken the loose coil and pinched both sides and slightly in the center to keep it narrow, and now I've made a daisy petal. What time do we have? 10 after 10. Okay. Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, you can make a tulip with a teardrop and a semi paisley, just a little bit of a shaped teardrop can make a tulip. You can make leaves on a vine with a teardrop. Let's see, do I have marquise on here? Oh, I have domed tight coils that I've pinched. I have tight coils here underneath. Tight coils here for a headband. See, here are the loose coils with the points of the teardrop inside. And there's the marquise right there making a leaf. And then this is the fringe that I talked about. We'll get to that a little later. Ah! What just happened? Is everyone still there? Am I still there? That was bizarre. You can see and hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, that was a little bit, and you're still there. Okay, great. That was a little bit bizarre on my end here. I wasn't quite sure. So, that's what we have for today. Just the very, very basics, the very, very beginning. That was the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. We'll do the 4, 5, 6s and EFGs next time. I want to thank you all for coming. I greatly appreciate the fact that you were here. And I'm going to show you more shapes next week and how to turn those shapes into designs. And we can review the tools if you like. I have some more tools that I want to show you. They're a little more advanced, but I want to show you how to use them. But I want to show you the basic shapes first and how to make little designs out of them. So thank you very much for being here. Okay, Stacy, thank you. It was enough to knock me for a loop over here. I hope you have a beautiful evening as well. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to say, hope to see you next week. And bye for now. Meow. Oh, before I go, if anybody has any questions, all you have to do is message me. Oh, good. I'm glad you thought it was fun, Allie. Thank you. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, just message me. Thanks. Okay, now bye for now, meow. Bye-bye.